Hi people, welcome to Chess 24/7 and you are encountering another online chess blitz video. I am playing with white pieces and let's go for e4 and we have c5. I'll play knight f3 now. We have Sicilian and let's see which variation do we have. So we have d6 now. I'll continue with c4, pushing for d4 now. Okay, so you're attacking my e5 pawn, and here's a trick that I saw recently. I'll play h3 here, luring the black knight to capture on e4, but he does not. Now I'll defend the pawn, and I'm right now threatening to play d4 if my opponent does not do anything. Yeah, he plays g6. I can play d4 here, and he has kind of helped me getting a good center here. And now he fianchettos his bishop, but now I can push further down the line d5 and push that knight, so that knight goes to b8. Okay, knight c3. I'll develop, and yes, he castles. And now I'll play b4 first of all, because I want to create some control over the c5 square, so that the knight cannot come to c5 here. And now I'll just fianchetto my bishop. Okay, and we have a5. I'll still maintain some pressure and I will not capture. In fact, I'll let my opponent do that if he wants to. So that way I still have control on c5. But yes, I need to castle. My opponent has already castled and he's attacking my b4 pawn, so I'll just defend with queen b3, I guess. Yeah. Okay, so he's attacking my bishop. I'll just defend it, and now I need to think about how should I castle. I can hit the queen with the tempo. So she's on b8. I think b8 is not a good square for the queen. I'll just defend my pawn on e4. Bishop d7. I'll just castle now. So now I think I've castled. So he's controlling the c file. I can go for the a file now. So I'll just cast. Okay, so it captured my piece on b5. I'll capture it with my bishop now. But I can play rook c1 here, because the queen is hit, and then I can, when the queen moves, I can control the c file with bishop with rook c3, I guess, or maybe c3, maybe c2. Queen takes c1. This is strange because there is no mate threat here, back rank mate threat. Knight takes e4, but this is just a mistake because I can fork both these pieces. And in the piece here, and he resigned. Let's go to the analysis board here. So I was playing with white pieces, and I started with e4. I had c5, knight f3, pawn d6, pawn c3, knight f6, and h3. So the idea is, if black captures on e4, then queen a5 check, queen a4 check. I think, yeah, queen a4 check, and wins the knight on e4. So yeah, that's the idea, which is why h3 is played, to lower black capture on e4. Knight c6. Now this idea doesn't work because the knight is interfering. So queen c2, protecting the pawn. g6, fianchettoing, d4, c takes, g7, bishop g7, d5, getting some space, knight b8. So maybe this was an achievement for me, putting my opponent's knight all the way to its starting square. And then I continued with knight c3, black castles, b4, gaining control of c5, bishop, knight b d7, bishop b2, because I'm challenging the black bishop of my opponent, which is a good bishop, to be honest. a5, a3, a takes b4, a takes b4, rook takes a1, knight takes a1, and Yeah, and there are no tactics involved taking on e4 because my queen and my knight both are protecting it. So yeah, there's no tactic on here on e4 here. Queen b6, queen b3. This is, I think, queen b3 is not a good move because now my opponent can easily play. Yeah, he can easily play knight. Wait, yeah. So this is what I'm planning for. If he takes and if I take, then he's winning the bishop, and I mean he won a pawn in the process. So is there a way to refute knight takes e4? No. So he could have won a pawn after queen b3. But anyways, queen a7 was played, bishop b2, knight b6, knight b5, bishop, queen b8. Now b8 is not a good square for the queen because she is only looking at two squares at the moment, three squares at the moment, namely c7, a7 and a8. Bishop d3, so my queen is a little bit more active. Bishop d7, white castles, rook c8, rook a1, bishop takes b5, bishop takes b5, queen c7, rook c1, and there was no need to capture on c1 because you don't have enough resources to continue the game without the queen at this point. After knight takes e4, queen e3, hitting the knight on e4 and the rook on c1, so he